It's time for another WrestlePlanet news update as WWE drafts some NXT stars to the main roster, Impact Wrestling announced a brand new championship, and is CM Punk set to walk through the forbidden door to New Japan Pro-Wrestling? All that and more coming up in today's video, but first... A popular wrestler from the Stardom all-female promotion in Japan has announced that they are now a free agent. Jungle Kayona, who has been with Stardom for the past 6 years, revealed on Twitter that she is leaving, apologizing to those who expected her to return. Her last match in the company was almost 1 year ago on October 4th, 2020, where she teamed with Mayo Iwatani in a loss to Bea Priestley and Natsuko Tora. She has won 6 championships during her time there, being a 3-time Goddesses of Stardom champion and a 3-time Artist of Stardom champion. Jungle has revealed that she looks forward to moving forward to gain more experience and grow as a person and as a wrestler, and she said that she will be making a return to wrestling somewhere else on Earth, potentially a hint at a move abroad. Following Sammy Guevara's AEW TNT Championship win this past Wednesday on Dynamite, his opponent was quickly revealed to be former NXT and former Ring of Honor star Bobby Fish after a challenge on social media. Bobby then appeared on Busted Open Radio after the announcement and revealed how the match came together, and he said, "I'm home watching AEW just like everybody else, and I see this thing go down and I'm thinking to myself, okay, fortune favors the bold, and that title and this mustache would look friggin' fantastic together. I'm like, listen, I can sit on my hands here and do nothing, or I could put my name in the ring, so to speak, and see what happens. So that's what I did." Fish was then asked if he knew a win would change his life, before saying that that was the plan, before once again bringing up the infamous mustache, and he said, "That's the plan, man. Like I said, man, I look at that title and I got this mustache, they would look great together, and the only way to take that from him is to go and take it from him. So that's what we're doing." Whilst it's unlikely Guevara will drop the title in his first defense, Bobby Fish's appearance in AEW is said to not be a one-off. Whilst he is set to appear in MLW in the Opera Cup tonight, it won't be the last time we see Fish and his mustache in All Elite Wrestling. Next up, a wrestler from WWE has announced their engagement to a New Japan star via social media. WWE SmackDown superstar Toni Storm took to Instagram to say, "Pop the champagne, I'm changing my last name," revealing her engagement to former IWGP United States champion Juice Robinson, who appeared in NXT a number of years ago under the name CJ Parker. Real names Tony Russell and Joseph Robinson went public with their relationship in June of last year, with them set to go to the next level. Storm made a name for herself in the European and Japanese wrestling scenes before signing for WWE's NXT UK brand in 2018, this following appearances in both Mae Young Classics. She was then called up to SmackDown in July 2021. Robinson would join New Japan in 2015 after his NXT run, where he progressed through the Young Lions system, going on to win IWGP United States and Tag Team Gold, as well as a World Tag League victory in 2019 alongside tag partner David Finlay. He has also walked through the forbidden door to Impact Wrestling as of late. Last night on AEW Rampage, the participants for the next casino ladder match were announced, with 7 men set for an opportunity to become the AEW World Championship #1 contender. Pac, Jon Moxley, Lance Archer, Orange Cassidy, Andrade El Idolo, and Matt Hardy will fight it out to grab the poker chip hanging above the ring, with one name yet to be revealed. As is tradition with AEW's casino-themed matchups, a Joker entrant is planned which won't be announced until they show up on the night. The match will take place on Wednesday on AEW Dynamite, which will be the show's 2nd anniversary celebration in Philadelphia, the home of ECW. The casino ladder match will start with 2 men in the ring, with a new wrestler entering after a short countdown, similar to the Royal Rumble. The Joker entrant will come out last, adding a ton of anticipation. I'll be releasing a list over the coming days with 10 potential candidates for the Joker spot, so give me some ideas of who you think could show up in the comments down below. And quickly, just before we continue, make sure you drop a like on the video as it helps me out a lot, and make sure you subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss any upcoming wrestling content as we head hopefully towards 100,000 subscribers. But now, let's press play on the video. Last night, WWE held night 1 of the 2021 draft with 16 picks being made across both Raw and SmackDown. 2 NXT acts have been called up so far, with the popular Hit Row hip-hop stable heading to SmackDown and Austin Theory making his way to Raw without his stablemates from the way. Elsewhere in the draft, SmackDown would pick WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, Raw Women's Champion Charlotte Flair, Drew McIntyre, The New Day without Big E, Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss, as well as Naomi and Jeff Hardy. Raw would end up taking WWE Champion Big E, Bianca Belair, RK Bro, Edge, WWE Women's Tag Team Champions Nikki ASH and Rhea Ripley, Keith Lee, and the Mysterios. Night 2 of the draft will take place this coming Monday on Raw, with a new pool of wrestlers available to choose from, including WWE SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch and Finn Balor. On this week's episode of Impact Wrestling, a brand new championship was announced with a single elimination tournament set to begin next week. The belt will be known as the Impact Digital Media Championship and will be primarily defended on the promotion's Impact streaming service. The tournament begins on October 5th, with the finals set to take place at the Bound for Glory pay-per-view on October 23rd. It's worth noting that both male and female competitors were shown in the video package, suggesting that the title will be intergender. Whilst the name is a bit of a mouthful, the idea does seem solid, with it being the modern incarnation of the television championship concept. The Impact Internet Championship would have probably sounded better, but this was likely avoided due to Impact Wrestling star Matt Cardona being the former self-proclaimed internet champion since 2011, this before he lost the belt to Effie on a recent GCW show. Perhaps even the Impact Digital Championship would have sounded better, but let me know what you think in the comments down below. This week, CM Punk appeared on the AEW Unrestricted podcast, where he spoke of potentially walking through the forbidden door to New Japan Pro-Wrestling. Punk would discuss Jon Moxley's recent feud with New Japan's own Minoru Suzuki, and admitted he is envious of the opportunity and said, "I look at a guy like Jon Moxley and I tell him every week I see him, it's not jealousy, it's envy, which might be equally as bad, but I'm like, bro, you get to work Minoru Suzuki, come on, that dude's a legend. He's having the time of his life and it looks like fun, I'd like to get a taste of that." Punk would then also name 3 wrestlers in Japan that he'd be interested in working with, but would say that there are a number of AEW stars that take first priority, and he added, "I think there's a lot of people in AEW that would be first in line, obviously, but there are guys that I feel like are measuring sticks. I'm gonna get in the ring with Kenny Omega one of these days, find out what he's about." Obviously, Kenny had these great matches with Kazuchika Okada. I think Okada is that measuring stick for New Japan Pro Wrestling. I also think Hiroshi Tanahashi, those are probably the 2 big names, and then there's young William Ospreay. A match with Will Ospreay and CM Punk has long been discussed, with both men expressing an interest in working with each other over the years, with Ospreay often being someone that Punk stated that it would interest him into getting back in the business. This interview follows a recent tweet from Punk stating that he'd love to tag with Bryan Danielson to take on the Lucha Brothers in Mexico City. So it seems that CM Punk may have his eye on working across the world, and it'll be interesting to see when he'll eventually make the jump to AAA or New Japan. And before you go, make sure you check out my video where I discussed the secret wrestling returns of CM Punk before he showed up in AEW.